Welcome to the Monday Marketing Clinic. It's great to have you here. If you are here live, certainly ask questions related to your marketing and some ideas, whether it's SEO, social, pay-per-click, whatever it is, your challenges to grow your business, because that's what we're all about here. And I have, of course, your questions, and I have a couple things I want to start off with, because we want to talk about what is it that Google is looking for. They have some updates in their webmaster tools as well as their keyword planner, and there's a theme going on, and there's a theme among some other things that they've launched recently, so I want to share that with you. Now, if you're here for the first time, of course, make sure you subscribe, and of course hit the bell icon if you want to be notified so you can ask questions when I go live next Monday Eastern Standard Time, and I talk to you and I grab your questions off my blogs, off of Twitter. At Rosh Sillars is the place you want to go. And I'm going to talk about Twitter for a moment too. But let me talk about two things that are kind of new. One for YouTube. That is that they have new music. And why is that important? They have new music because you are maybe getting tired of the music they've had on there. And you say, what music? Well, if you look under video, under create, and there's a little video icon there, and under create there's their library, audio library of music that you can download, all types of music, free, that you can use on YouTube, and YouTube will not penalize you. There'll never be a copyright strike. You could take music from someplace else, and then someone changed their mind. And if they change their mind on whether you can use it or not, you could get a copyright strike, which is not a happy thing on YouTube. So if you want to make sure you're not going to get any copyright strikes and you want some new music to look at, go on over there and you can use that music for your videos, which is helpful to keep things moving along, keep people engaged with your videos. Super important. Okay, the other thing I want to talk about is Twitter. And of course, and then that third thing related to Google, which I think is really important. Those of you who have questions, like I said, you can ask a question if you come in live. Those of you in the replay, put your questions in the comment sections below, and I will answer. Or if you want to pose a question for me to focus on next week, I'm looking forward to those questions too. On our Monday Marketing Clinic. Perfect. Okay, so low engagement on Twitter. I'm trying to fix that for my little world. And I have about 25,000 followers on Twitter. I'm a verified Twitter person. Great, wonderful. I tweet something and I don't get much engagement. I know people read it. I know people follow the links. I know there is something there. I might get a little bit of engagement or something, but not where it should be when someone has that many followers. I know people have a lot fewer people who follow them on Twitter, but have a much more engaged community. Now, whose fault is this? It's mine. Absolutely. Now, there are some Twitter elements that are happening and have been happening for years, which has participated in this whole thing, and that is the automation thing. People automating, they think, oh, I'm going to automate this and share with my 1,500 or 2,000 followers on Twitter. Well, you know what? If those people are just automating stuff from Hootsuite or Buffer, they see an article and hit Buffer and it goes to their Twitter. Well, you never went to Twitter. So why are you thinking that other people are sitting there on Twitter waiting for your article, right? Or your comments? Unless you are actually doing the things that help the algorithm, one, share you more, and this is true across the board with all social media. The more engaged you are on social, the more people engage with your stuff, the more they're going to see your stuff. So you have to be engaging and actually take the time. So what can you do on Twitter? Well, you can certainly, of course, retweeting, but there are programs that just you can retweet all day long, but you need to add more. If you share a link, you have 280 characters now. Share more. Share more about that link. Why is it there? And then say learn more or read more or take a look or check it out and then have the link. But give them more information as to why you are sharing it. And guilty as charged, let me tell you, I've shared many articles on Twitter. It's the right place to do it. It's the right platform for it. It's what I refer to as the People's AP Wire. And the fact is, when I'm just sharing the articles without adding something additional, well, the fact is there's going to be lower engagement because of that. So what else can I do before we get into the Google portion? Okay, so to make Twitter more engaging for me, I need to, and for you, we have to just remember, if everybody's throwing robots at each other, it's not going to work. Automated everything is not going to work. So if only let's say 500, 1,000 out of the 25,000 are who actually care, it would actually retweet, it would actually engage with me back, that's fine. 500, 1,000 people engage, that can make for a really good, oh my goodness, I mean, a good connection, a good community. You don't need all 25,000, you don't need all your followers, you just need a good core section of them to communicate with you. So let people know. One of the best things you can do, I think, is, of course, respond to people, let them know they're doing a good job, thank them. I love the idea that's been passed around a lot lately, and I've shared this on some of my other videos. Hey, respond to people on Twitter with video. You know, if you have some people who really appreciate your work and what you do, and you respond to them like with a personal message, that's huge, and that's really gonna solidify a fan base of people who care about what you're doing, and they'd be more apt to comment some more. And of course, that algorithm just pushes your stuff up to them more and more when you do those things. So that's my commitment. Hey, how you doing? Diego, good to see you here. So the point is taking the time to engage with this Twitter following that I do have, to make it something that is of value, at a high value for the people who are following me. And that takes my time to really build and let people know that I'm there for them. And you have to do the same thing on social. So much of social is becoming automated, and so much of the algorithms are pushing up the people who are taking the time to actually engage with other people. Okay, let's get to this Google thing real quick. Google has updated two things. They've updated their Webmaster Tools Search Console. We call it Webmaster Tools still because it's google.com/Webmaster Tools. And if you don't have it, Search Console for Google, you really should for your website. It has a lot of great information. They've updated that. They're also, it sounds like some people have gotten this into the rollout, updating the keyword planner in Google, which is where you can find more information about keywords. And anytime. Yeah, you know, I would like to get more into that Twitter strategy. Maybe I'll talk more about that next week. It's super important to really focus on the people who are following you. I mean, and a lot of people, I think, have gotten stuck, Diego, on just automating things back and forth on Twitter. So yeah, absolutely. So Google, the one thing that Google is saying to us in these new platforms, they even have a new thing that just came out, and I'll put this in the show notes. They have something that shows you how much money you may be losing if you have a slow website. So this all fits together. They have new tools to show you how quickly your website opens. Now, the thing that they have added to the keyword planner, as well as Webmaster Tools or Search Console, is mobile. The distinction of mobile and what's happening in mobile versus desktop. They've started to roll out last fall their mobile first platform or index. So what does that mobile first really mean? Mobile's important? Is that what it means? Well, yes, but it really means mobile first. And here's the best way to look at it. When we design our websites, traditionally, we often think, okay, here's our screen. Here's our big screen or our little screen or laptop screen. We're designing a website, and here are all the elements. Oh, okay, now we're going to create a mobile version for it, right? That single. It has to be the opposite. Mobile first means you design the website for mobile, and then you have some options for larger screens. I mean, at home, I have and many of us do, these large LED screens, 50 inches bigger, and people are watching YouTube. They're watching the internet on these big screens. So you have to have options all the way down to the smallest of screens, right? So mobile first is now being broken out in these new these updated platforms to show you what is happening and the importance of it. So that is what Google's trying to tell us. They're saying, look, if you are not putting mobile and taking mobile seriously, you have a big problem. And they're giving you all the tools to see where you stand right now in their eyes, and if you are providing a good experience via mobile. And mobile first means you design your website for the mobile user first. Big buttons, easy to read, and loads really fast. Okay, let's get to your questions. And I get these questions off of, boy, my nose is itchy today. I get these questions off of Twitter, at Rosh Sillars is where you can catch me there. And please do ask questions there for next week's show, or put them in the comments below here on YouTube. I appreciate that very much. And let's see, the first question is, what is retargeting? That's a great question. So, some people don't fully understand retargeting or even remarketing under Google. Google calls it remarketing, but everybody else calls it retargeting. Basically, those are those ads that follow you around the internet. And why would you want to do that? Well, a lot of times when people come to our website, they're just looking for general information right now. They're doing some research right now, but they may not make a buying decision for maybe a couple days or later that day or a couple weeks from now. If you can continue to send a message to those people after they leave your website, I mean, think about it, for years, we would put up a website, people do great SEO, drive people to it, and then they leave without doing anything, a good percentage of them. So now we have these retargeting through Facebook and Twitter and Google, among others, to actually capture those folks and be able to send them a message when they go back to Facebook. And maybe a special offer, something that would drive them back maybe, or encourage them to purchase from you, or whatever it may be. Or maybe it's on their favorite blog, or a news site, or on YouTube, or Google property. So those little ads, just like when you go to Amazon and you look at that pair of boots and those boots follow you around for 3 weeks, that's what it's all about. It's the same kind of thing, and you have access to that. You can even retarget people who watch your YouTube videos. People who go to your YouTube videos, retarget, and then they follow you. You can follow and send messages directly to them. So that's the retargeting. It's really powerful, and I think it's really just must be a standard today, because it really has a high conversion rate. If you think about it, the people know you already. And in the beginning, people are complaining. They're saying, oh, it's creepy. Why are these ads following? We know this is happening now. Everybody's used to that now. And the fact is, if there's going to be an ad there anyway, so there's going to be an ad there, why not make an ad that's relevant to you? And people generally don't click on those ads, so that's free branding. So every time they see that ad, that's another impression in their head. Branding, remember your name, remember your name, remember your name. And yes, this is a paid service, so it's pay-per-click advertising. Good question, Diego. Pay-per-click advertising. So you would do this on Facebook, just like Facebook ads or Google ads or Twitter ads. But you'd put a little piece of code in your website. So you'd have to put some code in your website. And then from that point, those people could be targeted. So if it's Facebook, it's the Facebook pixel. And when they go back to Facebook, you could have that ad on Facebook directly and only to those people who have gone to your website, which is a much more personable, no problem, which is a much more personable kind of a thing. They know who you are. So now it's not a cold lead in the sense they've never heard of you before and you're trying to convince them. They've actually been to your website. They know what you're about. You're just giving them maybe a better offer or a reminder. Okay, let's get on to the next. We can certainly talk more about that in the future. It's a great topic. And what SEO tools should you use? Good question. Look, just understanding what people want on your blog and website is very helpful. One of the things that I think a lot of people don't think much about, there's a lot of great tools out there related to headlines and creating headlines. So some of those headline checkers, I'm going to look something up right now, give you a couple of them that I keep. Answerthepublic.com is a great place to find topics that people are actually asking Google for. That is great for SEO, because a good headline as well as good click-through rates and people finding what they're looking for is great for SEO. Now, if you're looking for more beyond just the traditional, just great content conversation, you know, there are, you know, Moz can show you some nice information about how many links compared to your competition. You know, how many links do you have compared to your competition, and how many links do you need to build? SEM Rush is an excellent place to go to learn a lot to help you with both pay-per-click as well as SEO. Very important. And so let's see. Fat Headline app. That's something I've been using to help me. It really helps you maybe put some better words. It kind of looks at your sentence, your headline, and it'll say, well, this word is a low. People don't click on that word as much. But if you use this word, people are more apt to click. That can be really helpful. So SEM Rush, that's really good. And Moz is good for that. I use a couple things. UNAMO. It used to be Positionally, and they changed it to UNAMO. UNAMO. So I preferred Positionally, to be quite honest, but they changed the name. But it's that is how I track rankings. So I can take a website and I can I can see where that website ranks for different keywords. So if I have a client, I can see, okay, here's client A and all the keywords we're tracking, and I can see ups and downs and keep track of everything and make sure what I'm doing is working. So that's really good. I have some other more advanced tools that I won't get into right now unless people ask me down the road. I'll be happy to share them with you, but let's start with those basics right now. Okay, next question that I have here. Let's see. Oh, this one's related to the mobile first. So actually, I really just talked about that already. So the importance of mobile first is really the answer. You know, why people are moving. Google is moving. Google is creating more tools to help you. Check out Google Speed Test and things like that to help you understand. They're putting that in analytics too. You can check out if you have analytics. Well, you have to. Definitely. Don't even tell me if you don't have analytics in your website. You must. It's free. Google Analytics is free. You need to have it, and you can learn so much. Don't be overwhelmed. Just take one section at a time. Find the things that interest you the most. You don't have to know everything that's in Google Analytics. You just have to understand the things like traffic. Where's it coming from? How long are they staying on the site? Are they bouncing off? Those kinds of things are really important to help you know. Okay. Oh, here's a straightforward question. Do I still need a website? Yes, you still need a website. There are plenty of social places. I love working off of YouTube. Facebook, you have all these social places. You know, photographers say, oh, we have Instagram. Who needs a website? People find, no, you need you don't own any of these other things. We don't own YouTube. We don't own Facebook, Twitter. We don't own, the only thing you own, your email list and your website. Those are the two things. So you need to have a good email list and good website, at least as a foundation. That does not mean it needs to be your core location, although my blog is very helpful for my websites. It's very helpful for my SEO. But, if you don't want it to be your main thing, that's fine. But you should have it, and you should drive some people there. You should at least collect emails and so forth. Okay. Last question that I have here before we start wrapping it up. How can I use stories? Good question. Stories on Facebook, stories. That we're gonna have reels on YouTube. If you're a large enough creator, you have the community tab and you have reels. Stories on Instagram. There are more and more platforms that are coming out with stories and story-related kinds of stuff. So, I think stories is really more kind of the personal, the high, you can put really polished stuff out there, but let's use YouTube as the example. So if you have Reels, which is the YouTube version of stories, you can just share behind the scenes. You can share those little moments, just a little bit of quick advice, 30 seconds of advice or thoughts, that maybe your community would care about. That's where it really is powerful, where people really want to connect and see. You can have the polished video, that 5-minute awesome video, well produced. Maybe it's an animation. Maybe it's your vlog with great music that you just downloaded off of YouTube because it's great new stuff they have in there. Well, I don't know about great new. It's the stuff I've heard has been pretty good. But you have that polished video, but then you can have those, how I made the video moments, or wow, this is really tough because, or yeah, check out, minute 3 because this is a really key point to the thoughts. There are things that you can do. Show behind the scenes, show the video, show the people that helped me create the videos. I mean, all that stuff can be developed in the Stories tab. So that's the way I like to look at it. It's the more informal portion of that social media platform. Many ways to approach it, but that's certainly one of my favorite ways to approach it. All right, any last minute questions before we call it a day for the Marketing Monday segment? If you have not subscribed, please do. If you wish, you can certainly catch me. Let's see, maybe not the part, but how do I build an email list? Okay, that's a great question. No, that's an excellent question. How do I build an email list? A couple ways to go about it. There's actually, if you go to, as an example, I'm not trying to get you on my email list. I'm just showing you, here's an example to do it on YouTube, and I'll share with you how to do it on our website too. But if you go to YouTube, Rosh Sillars Photographer, go there as an example, and you'll see download my pricing list, okay? You will see, just go there, you'll click on it, it'll pop up, and so people will receive this questions to ask when a photographer wants receives a request for a quote, and here's some questions you need to ask that client before you give them the quote. And that's what that pricing list is all about. So, it pops up, and the person fills in their name and their email, and then you click go back to YouTube. And that's something that YouTube likes because you're going back to YouTube and not away. And now that person's going to receive an email with that list. You've captured their email. So there are programs, whether you use MailChimp or Constant Contact, use these programs, and you can put in a little piece of code on your website that says, hey, sign up for my newsletter or download my latest ebook or white paper or whatever it may be. You usually want to offer something of high value. The people who would like, you as a business person, you're offering a solution to people's problems. So if you can offer a little piece of that solution in a downloadable piece of content or something that's of value, maybe it's sending them to another page that has a great video that they can have. I mean, there are a lot of things you can do like that, but it captures the email and keeps the list. And I'm capturing actually that photography site, that YouTube for Photographer site is YouTube channel is certainly, not a, it's about a third the size of this in terms of subscribers, but I'm getting people subscribing just about every day, which is kind of nice. I mean, so as that channel gets bigger, that list is getting bigger. And I also do that same kind of a section on my pricing for photographers, big blog post that I have. And I capture about 1,000 subscribers a year off that. Maybe 800 to 1,000. So that's not so bad. And I have other email lists too, other ways I'm capturing those emails. So usually you can find the code to do that in the email service that you purchase. Your goal is to be really creative in terms of your offering because people just don't give their emails for no reason at all. So you need to be creative in terms of what it is you're offering them for the email. I highly recommend these days you don't necessarily offer the newsletter unless you have a super high value, awesome newsletter. If it's just like, here's what's happening with my company and you send it once a month, don't go there. But if you're offering something that's super awesome to them and they love it and they're going to share it with other people, fine, because now it's something that is of high value and people are considering that way. Okay, hey, great questions, and I think we're done for today. Talk to you next time, next Monday, and of course I have videos coming out later this week, probably one on Wednesday and then a 3-pack of videos on Friday. Thank you. Thanks for being here, Diego. I appreciate your questions. Have a great day, y'all.